Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Gameroom, your bi-weekly video game podcast that is exiting 2020 in style. Not really in style, I guess, but we're definitely going to have a good 2021. Happy New Year, by the way. I'm Michael McLeod, and joined always by Dwight Robinson. Say hello, Dwight.
Hey, what's going on?
Hey, we're back. I've not talked to you much since last episode. Christmas week just fell upon us, and it's the beginning of New Year. We're recording this on New Year. Happy New Year. I haven't mentioned that to you, so yeah, Happy New Year.
Yep.
Hopefully it'll be better than last year. Hopefully you will still avoid the COVID.
Right.
COVID 2 won't happen. This isn't going to be 2020 remastered. This is going to be 2021, a good year for everybody. We had good video games this year, so we're going to break form a little bit. We normally talk about what we've been playing and all this fun stuff and some news. Nope, this is going to be a special episode of our top 10 games from each of us from 2020. Mm-hmm. We did discuss kind of some rules on what we were going to do. Mm-hmm. I kind of broke those rules a little bit. All of my games, because I really wanted to, all of my games did come out in 2020.
Okay.
So every single one of them, because initially what we had talked about was 5 from 2020 and 5 that we just started in 2020. Mm-hmm. But no, all of mine came out in 2020, but they are a bit of a cheat as well, and we'll get to that. I actually have the cheat ones at the beginning, and you'll see why they're a cheat. Hopefully we can make this shorter episode, so I'm going to go ahead and get started on mine, and I have my list in order of least to worst. Least to worst. That's the same thing. 10 to 1. That's how I have mine in order. I don't know. I'm going to end on the game of the year for me. So.
Gotcha. Okay.
All right. I don't know if you have yours in any sort of order.
I didn't. Yeah.
Kind of.
But we can figure it out.
Okay. Well, my cheat aspect of it is 4 of my 10 games are remasters.
Wow. Okay.
That just came out this year.
Remasters that
They're
came
older
out this
games.
year. Okay.
yeah, you know. So with that, and I don't know if you played this version of this game or the remaster, or even if I've talked about it on this podcast. I think this is like pre-Welcome to the Gameroom podcast.
Okay.
And that's the Wonderful 101 remastered.
Oh, okay. That came out this year?
It did.
Oh, yeah, I guess it did.
I can't say when exactly, but it was earlier this year. I remember playing it because I got it. Remember, it kickstarted and then it came out like right after. It's like they already had it printed. I feel like they just wanted to. I don't know. I guess they wanted to test interest. I think the game was done.
Probably.
So, the Wonderful 101. If you're a Platinum fan or a Pikmin fan, if you just like a funny game. Have you ever played this at all, even on the Wii U?
I actually have a demo on my Wii U that I played.
A demo on the Wii U. Probably the same demo that's on PlayStation.
I think it is.
And Switch.
But that Wii U demo, I mean, it's good, but
it takes a minute to get used to, and it is a game that can be frustrating at times from a gameplay perspective, and it has a learning curve. However,
I like it a lot, though.
The comedy in this game is fantastic.
Very unique.
If you like Beautiful Joe or any of those like super corny Power Ranger tropes, this game is all about it, and it has a lot of self-referencing like Platinum games.
Yeah, all the Super Sentai stuff. Yep.
Yes. There's literally at the end, and this is a mild spoiler, but not really. You're in like this big mech, and you have to jam on a button like real hard. You're just to like power up this laser, and it's on the outside of the mech, the camera, and then it cuts to the inside, and all the heroes on the inside, they're all jamming on the buttons just like you're jamming on the controller. I almost failed that bit because it made me laugh so hard. But yeah, Wonderful 101 Remastered is my number 10 pick for my games of 2020. What is yours? If not in any sort of order, but still.
So
at least put your number 1 at number 1.
Because of that, I just decided that the ones that I had for games that didn't actually come out this year, but I kind of figured
that's what you would probably do.
I'll start with those. So, Asura's Wrath.
You know what? I played that this year too.
Yeah,
I didn't finish it though.
I just booted that up this year and never played it before. Of course, I've heard of it and I've seen it and everything, but have never actually turned it on or played it before or anything before this year. And it's pretty good. And the fact that it's pretty much just like a series of quick time events and everything is perfectly fine with me. It's really short.
It's not pretending to be anything else.
So I actually like that a lot. So I've been.
Did you get the DLC for the last chapter?
I think I do have all that. I haven't gotten that far yet though. And
because I originally played it when it came out, and I never got the DLC. So actually, when we were stuck at home earlier this year, I started it and I didn't finish it because I wanted to play through the last chapter because it has like an unfulfilling ending without the DLC.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah,
I think I heard about that.
Yeah. I'll get back on it though. Now that you mentioned it, you've kind of encouraged me to want to get back on it. I just finished a game. It's November. It's January 1st, and I finished a game. I'm one in for the year already. Hot dog. All right. That's all you had on Asura's Wrath. You just good game. It is fantastic.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't beaten it yet, so I haven't gotten far enough to really, complain about it or anything like that. But
it's an interactive anime, is what it is. It's not really even a game. I would even say
absolutely an anime episode. The whole game.
It's even based in episodes, I believe, right?
Yeah.
Because that's right. Because you have previously on bits. Okay, well, I'll go ahead and jump into my next one too, and this is also, like I say, my first four are going to be cheats. They didn't actually come out this year, but their remasters did. So, Persona 4: The Golden, which came out on Steam this year.
It came out on PC this year, yeah.
It did, yep. And I actually have not beaten this version of the game. Well, I've beaten Gold version on Vita, but I've not beaten the PC version. And it was a toss-up between this and Persona 5 Royale, but I have not beaten Royale at all.
Okay.
And even at their base level, I think Persona 4's ending is much better than Persona 5's ending. So I hope this comes out of their stuff, but if you have not played a Persona game and you want to jump in, Persona 4 I think is the ideal way to go. Whether you play it on Vita or PC, don't play the PS2 version. It has problems.
Really?
Okay. I mean, it's fine. It's technically sound. It's not as good, in my opinion. So, Persona 4 Golden. Go ahead.
Let's see. That's actually a pretty good one. Dragon Marked for Death on Switch. Okay. I also have not played that before this year. I actually bought it like a while ago, but never started it up until this year. Which I do that a lot. I remember
you talking about this on the podcast, right?
Yes. Yeah.
I did it a lot too.
And I actually I liked it a lot. I also this kind of kicks off the Mega Man Zero collection. That would have been on my list for, games that were just released this year and I actually started playing this year or whatever. But I mean, I played all those before, so it's not, it wasn't anything new. But I think I like Dragon Mark.
Plus, that's a collection. That's like a mega cheat.
Right. Yeah. So, I like Dragon Mark for Death a lot. I mean, there's a lot of issues people have with it. But I think what's really interesting is that the characters they have really do play completely differently from each other, especially like the witch character or whatever. So I thought that was pretty interesting. Not a whole lot of games.
I wish I knew what episode you talked about this on, so we could reference people to it.
Yeah, specifically.
I remember you talking about this on a previous episode, and I remember I think we sell a physical copy at the place I work at.
Yep.
And I've been looking for it, but it hasn't come back in, so I might need to just check a different store.
Which is the best way to get the whole thing without having to buy two separate games. So.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So, one day I did pick up a physical copy of Panzer Dragoon recently. I'm gonna start that here pretty soon. I know that's not a very long game, but I kind of wanted
Panzer Dragoon, the remake, or
yeah, the remake. Okay. Yeah. I finally bought the second version. After all these years, I got around to it. Yeah, no, I bought the remake. There was a physical copy, limited run. Put out a physical copy, so I was like, you know what, now's my time to jump. So
they have a sale actually right now. I think limited run, they're going through all this stuff.
I need to stay away because I'll end up buying stuff. Dude, I haven't even gotten. I pre-ordered Grandia HD Collection and Obra Dinn from them, and they haven't even shown up yet. So I always forget about limited run stuff because you buy it and then it doesn't show up for like 8 months later. You know. I have that, and I have the Shenmue limited edition, which of course I do.
I think I almost got some Streets of Rage 4 stuff from them, but
I just bought the one that was out in the wild. I got the Xbox version that came with the keychain. Yay, exciting. Streets of Rage 4, man, I should have put that on my list. I did not. Maybe I'll...
Spoilers, I did.
Okay, well, we can talk about that, because actually, Streets of Rage 4 is good stuff. We can also talk about this one, too, because this is also a remaster, my next one. And I know you've been playing it, and I know you're going to be like, what? Why is it so far down on your list? Is Dragon Quest XI S Echoes of an Elusive Age Definitive Edition. I think that's the full title.
I would guess probably because you've played through it already. The original.
Well, it's a remaster. That's why, it's just that's why it's so low down on my list. Technically, this release came out last year on Switch, so it's even more of a cheat, really.
That's the reason why I didn't put that on my list. I didn't have it on my list at all.
Well, I mean, you're just getting into it for the first time, too, right? Yeah. You don't really know. But I'm curious, though, because it's actually really nice, because I have a friend playing it, friend of the show, Kirby. He probably not listening to this. You're playing it, my wife's playing it, I'm playing it. So on my list, you go to social on Xbox, there's like 3 people playing Dragon Quest. It warms my soul to see that.
I was going to say, because normally that doesn't happen.
That is not a thing. Exactly.
Not at all.
But I'm curious, spoiler-ish, I guess, whatever. How far are you? Where are you at?
So right now...
how many hours and your benchmark?
And this is a thing that kind of annoys me about Xbox. My hours is not a benchmark for anything. Because right now it says I'm at 94 hours in. I'm absolutely not 94 hours in. So what happens is that
94 hours?
Yes, it's at 94 hours, but I'm
on your save files?
Yes, I guarantee you I'm not that far in.
Dude, you could have beaten the game like completely at that point.
I just left the cobblestone town with Eric. At the very beginning.
Oh, when you have the flashback.
Yes, you have the flashback.
Okay.
You leave from
I was
there.
like, you just left Cobblestone?
Yeah, no.
It's like the first town.
So the second time,
That's like, I just beat the Great Deku Tree.
No. But yeah, so when you're on Xbox, when you use anything like quick resume or whatever, because what I've been doing, because normally I haven't used any of the quick resume stuff or anything. I always close down a game once I'm done with it.
I do too.
That's what I usually do. And I mean, especially when I'm playing multiplayer games, like none of that's just is going to work for a multiplayer game.
Yeah.
But I just another game that I was playing, I had like left it on for whatever reason, and just switched to something else, and I was like, you know what? Quick resume is a thing, and I keep forgetting about it because it's not normal for me to just leave the game running. So I was like, whatever. So after that, I started actually just using that. I started just leaving them open, switching to something else.
Okay.
And then, of course, it's not like I'm sitting there switching between 6 different games, but I will leave it on, and instead of closing the game, I'll just go to the home and then just turn off the Xbox, and then I'll get back to it, couple days later or whatever after playing something else, and all the shit is still there. I'm like, okay, well that's sweet. But the game time is still running. And this is not a unique issue with quick resume, because that was an issue before, because on the Xbox originally, even though you couldn't use quick resume, you could have a game just kind of like suspended.
That's an issue with a lot of things. I know what was the game that did that for me? What was that? Was it Adventures of Mana?
Trials of Mana?
Not Trials of Mana. Not Secret of Mana. The first one that they remastered. It was the Game Boy version. I think it was Adventures or something.
I think so.
They put it out on Vita and phones.
Okay.
But on Vita in particular, I had it, and I remember I turned off my Vita and I came back and saved, and it was like 200 hours.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, what? Hold on.
Yeah, that happened to me on PSP also, because I was playing I think it was something Yggdrasil Union or something like that. I don't remember. It was a really good game though, and yeah, I had like hundreds and hundreds of hours in this thing just because I left it on sleep all the time, and it's to me stuff like that is annoying. And then even when you go into menus,
because it's not an accurate representation.
No, not at all. And I pause all the time.
Because I would say Dragon Quest. To get through the main story of Dragon Quest will probably take you about 60 hours.
And I would have no idea now.
to beat the game, because if you roll credits, that's not the end of the game.
Right, okay.
If you stop the game there, you're selling yourself so short. It is another 30 hours after that.
Gotcha.
So I'd say about 85, 90 hours. I am 33 hours in, and I do close my thing. I'm actually playing on Xbox One S. Sorry, not S. Xbox One X. I've actually not turned on my Series X because I got the puppy, and it's like I try to keep. I don't like the cat in the game room because he likes to fuck with stuff. So I like to let them play. So I'll go into the living room where the Xbox, and it runs the same on the One X as it does on the Series X, really. So
yeah, I'd imagine.
I've just been playing it on that, and I always close everything out. But I have every character unlocked. Yeah, I can't really talk about it too much because it will spoil stuff. But I'm very far in. I'm like level 50 something with all my characters, and I almost have it to where I will say for you especially, you really kind of need to be max level with most characters by the end of the game. There's a very good grinding exploit. We'll talk about that when you get a bit farther, but I'm almost at the point where I can start doing that experience grind exploit. So
I did have a question though. So can you respec your characters, or are you just kind of pretty much stuck with what you're?
No, you can.
Gotcha.
You can. However, I will say this right now: do not really worry about running out of space, though.
Okay.
There's only 2 characters, and I'm not going to say who they are because you haven't got either one of them yet, where you have to farm skill points. But by the end of the game, everyone, you should have everything for them.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering, because like I have for my for the hero character, I named him Yusha because it just makes it easier. It lines up with the Japanese dub or whatever. I started him down great swords because I looked around. I was like, oh well, great swords you can hit multiple characters, and I'm like, okay, or multiple enemies. It's like, all right, so I'll start off there.
Heavy attack, but low defense.
Right. And then now that I have, Eric in the party, and he has a fucking boomerang. And I'm like, well...
Okay.
Why?
So I'll give you a bit of guidance.
And it works so much better. And it attacks multiple characters on normal attacks. And I'm like, well, I just wasted all this time,
I'll give you a bit of advice. You're fine. I mean, you can learn stuff in different sections that apply to other sections. Like in Eric's dagger section. That's where you get dual wield.
Yeah. I started going
but
towards
that also
too.
applies to boomerangs. Yeah. So, Eric is a god later in the game. He's actually not that good mid game, but he is a god later in the game if you have him on boomerangs. There's a move called Divide. He gets. He can pretty much like friggin' Tenshinhan, like divide himself up into like multiple people. And then if you have 2 boomerangs and do something like Critical Claim, which gives you an automatical crit, but it hits 6 times. So it's like, good God, he is just a beast. I would keep the Luminary, which I named mine Hawk for some reason, just because I named people Hawk. I would keep him on swords, just regular swords.
Also, I don't really get why they translate it as Luminary. I'm so confused about that because they say Yusha, and of course Yusha is hero. They use that term all the time and different stuff. Why they translate it as Luminary? Like, what the hell does that mean?
I think it applies to just I don't know. It sounds better, and it applies to several different games. Like they already had named that way. Like Dragon Quest 2 is.
Because I was going to say, don't they call him Hero
the Luminary
and all
Line
those?
or something like that? No, Dragon Quest 2 has a subtitle, which I'm about to look up right now, and it's something Luminary. So, I mean, it kind of works in that context. I'll give you a sec. It's something Luminary Line Quest 2.
Yeah, I was super confused, because it's like, don't they call him Hero? So why...
Luminaries of the Legendary Line. That's what it's called.
Oh,
so...
yeah.
But they already kind of had that established. I'm fine with it. It works out. But yeah, I'm glad you're enjoying the game. I'm loving it all over again. And like I say, I'll probably 100% it again on Xbox. But anyway, continue on. What were we on? What number? Number.
I just did 2.
6?
So.
Okay, so you're on your third one then.
Yeah.
Okay, go for it.
Oh wait. Did you already do? Yeah, you did. Yeah, you just did.
I did Dragon Quest XI.
That's right.
That thing we just rambled about forever.
All right, so I have Warhammer 40,000 Inquisitor. Wait, Warhammer. I got to do the whole thing. Hold on. Warhammer 40,000 Inquisitor Martyr. That's the entire name.
Is that the RTS one or the shooter one?
That is the kind of
it's
like
not an RTS.
Diablo style.
Yeah, it's isometric camera.
Isometric, dungeon running
Which one am I
RPG.
thinking of, then?
That came out last year, but I started playing it this year, earlier this year. And that is surprisingly a good ass game. And normally I don't. I once in a while play those like isometric action RPGs. But this one to me was just super unique because it was one of the few where you actually have the storyline itself is actually pretty interesting, which is surprising. That and you use mostly just conventional weapons like sniper rifles and assault rifles and shotguns and everything. But there's a cover system in this game. In this isometric action RPG, you can post up on cover and like shoot over cover and shoot around. And
I can't think of another game that does that in a ISO camera. That's interesting.
There's a couple, but not one as hardcore RPG as like this one.
This is on PS4, right?
Xbox.
Oh, it's on Xbox,
it was on
too.
Game Pass. Yeah, and it was
really. I might have to give it a shot then.
West of Dead is similar. West of Dead is also like an isometric. It's like an indie game. I would say that's more of like an action game than like a strict, RPG, whatever. This one is more of just like loot is everywhere.
Of course,
skill trees and all
Diablo
this other shit,
skin
like
in it,
straight,
skeleton.
But it's really surprising, and all the weapons feel good. Like a sniper rifle just feels like it blows a hole through someone's chest and everything. It's just a really, really good game.
And you're playing a single player, right?
Yes.
Okay. Because I know these games are kind of. See, I have Chaos Bane, which I know is like the not futuristic version of it. Right.
Exactly.
Essentially, I have that, which I know there's a remaster for Series X, but I bought the regular one and I've never even touched it.
I played it on Game Pass for a little bit and I actually didn't like it, and it was kind of surprising. Yeah. It looked really good. And
I got it on sale. It was like literally like $8 one day. Yeah. I was just like, let me give it a shot. I like those sort of games, but I don't always get into them immediately. I do that same thing you do, where I buy something because it's on sale, and then I won't touch it for like a year and a half or 2 years.
I do that shit all the time.
And then I'll get around to it. And I'm like, why did I wait so long? That was actually pretty good.
Yeah, that was definitely my my issue with a couple other games I tried this year. But yeah.
Moving on then. All right, this is my last of the remasters. Everything else from here on came out this year, or the next one not so much actually, but it came out for America this year. But for this one, and this one was kind of difficult, but I went with Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition.
Oh, okay.
Because I did play all the way through it for the first time, and this was, I got really far in the Wii version, not as far in the 3DS version. It's funny how like making a game visually appealing somewhat, at least a little bit of effort helps. Its appeal.
I'm really torn on this because it does look good. The performance and everything, they clean it up, obviously, from the Wii version or whatever. I like the original visual style, and I was also one of those Operation Rainfall people or whatever.
Yeah, definitely. So, I was all over that.
Yeah, I have all 3 of those games, so I got this like right when it came out. I have like the real fancy box and everything. I thought it looked amazing, for the Wii for the time. I never got the 3DS version.
At the time it did.
So
I got the 3DS one too. The 3DS one is a marvel on 3DS. I mean, mind you, it still looks like shit.
Right.
But for 3DS,
yes.
I was like, holy shit, they got this whole thing running.
And it's like, what, only one of like 2 or 3 games that requires that you use a new 3DS?
It's exclusive.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, that, Fire Emblem Warriors, and we say that Hyrule Warriors, you practically need it.
Right.
Like, I mean, it'll play on the other one, but it runs at like 10 frames a second.
Mm-hmm. But yeah.
Another thing, too, and this is what tripped me up the first 2 times, and this time I said, you know what, I'm not about to do all these side quests. There's so many side quests in this game. They're just obnoxious. And I said, no. I want to get through this game. So I really only did a side quest. I would talk to everybody. You know, like if they had a bubble, whatever, I'll talk to them. If I happen to complete the quest, cool.
Right.
Or if they had a good reward, I would do it real quick. If they didn't, though, I'm not sweating over this. Like, I could just grind, you know, my way ahead. Other words, you know, there's a glitch I kind of used that worked in the last one, and it worked in this one too, which can shoot you up in levels real quick. So there's a glitch where you can clip through a wall and discover an area you're not supposed to discover till way late in the game. And you know, when you discover areas, they give you a lot of experience.
Right, yeah.
But since you're supposed to discover this so late, it's a ton of experience. So you can jump from like level 20 to 40 quick. Like... super quick, so that made the game a lot less grindy. And yeah, it took me 30, I think, because it does it in 5-hour increments. I think it said I played 35 hours or more, so less than 40 hours to beat the whole game, which in my head, this was always like a 100-hour plus RPG. No, you can get through it in less than 50 hours.
Well,
so.
that's good. I've actually never beaten it
enjoyable.
either, because it is definitely a long game.
It's not as daunting as I thought it was going to be, I'll put it that way. So, but yeah, that's it. That's it for the remasters for me. So prepare for new games after that. So continue on.
This also brings me to the last game that I played. That is new to me, but not new to the rest of the world. Which is My Friend Pedro. Which I think I texted you about that when I started playing that.
You did.
So
that's not new to me. I've played through that, but it's been a while. Give me a refresher.
So the storyline is kind of... I'm not even really going to get into the storyline because there's not a whole lot there. But gameplay-wise, it's a 2-dimensional shooter. 2D with 3D backgrounds and all that and whatever. And you can... basically anything you can think of, like in like the Matrix movies or whatever, is possible in here. Slowing down time.
Don't they call it gun fu? I think they call it.
I guess like gun kata or whatever. Because it's like Equilibrium. It's this Christian Bale movie or whatever. So with the dual weapons, like the dual pistols or like the dual SMGs or whatever, you can aim in 2 different directions at once. And of course, you can slow down time. And you can dodge around bullets and, do jumps and rolls and jump off walls.
You can kick a frying pan up in the air and, like, shoot the frying pan and ricochet the bullets around.
Ricochet bullets off of signs. Jump through the air and shoot stuff like it's... And, of course, you have different weapons and everything. It's funny because they have all the really cool stuff here at the beginning of the game. And then it slowly starts funneling you into 2-handed weapons where you can't split your aim. And then... stuff like the assault rifle or whatever, where, or like the sniper rifle, where you're kind of just like standing still and shooting, as opposed to doing all the fancy shit that you were doing before. So, but anyway, it's a really good game. Just imagine like a 2D, Stranglehold, or like,
there you go.
I guess that's the best. Max Payne, Stranglehold, those types of games.
Actually, you know what? It kind of reminds me of, even though this is not a good game. That's debatable, I guess. Matrix: Path of Neo.
Yeah.
Where the gunfights are just ridiculous and that sort of thing. So
that was pretty fun. I think I played it on like GameCube or something.
That was only on PS2 and Xbox. But
I'm thinking of Into the Matrix.
Into the Matrix.
Yeah, Into the Matrix is on. I played that on GameCube.
Into the Matrix is on GameCube as well. I have that for Xbox. And Matrix Path of Neo, actually, if you want a good Matrix game, mind you, it's not really a good game, but it's got some...
are any of them?
It's got some pretty dope moments. Well, it's got some pretty dope moments.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna front like I didn't have a lot of fun with that. And I actually just played it a few years ago, so...
So yeah, My Friend Pedro was definitely a good game.
My Friend Pedro was dope. Yeah,
it's really quick, so I was able to blow through that, which I don't finish games very often. So that's
it is a very short game, and it's on Game Pass, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Right? Okay, I remember it was at one point. I bought it for Switch because it was a Switch exclusive to start off with. So
okay,
I actually bought it for Switch immediately, like the day it came out, and that's where I played through it. And I played through most of it on Game Pass, and then I was just like, okay, I got it. I'll play it later.
Yeah, I played through the whole thing. But
Yeah,
it's
that first time is great.
Yeah, it's definitely pretty good.
I had a tough time for this this next one, so I did split it. And I even right now, like literally this second, I can't decide which one I want to actually put in the spot. So they both came out this year, and I guess I'm going to give a runner-up to Sakura Wars because I have not finished it.
1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, shit, I did miss one. Okay, but go ahead.
Oh, well, that's fine. You can tack that one on. I'll give a runner-up to Sakura Wars because I haven't finished it, and it could fall off. But in this next game, not a good game, actually. I'm just going to throw that up there. Not a good game. I would not recommend it to most people. Yet it somehow made my list because I like this sort of weird shit like this. And that's Disaster Report 4.
Oh, God, yeah. I think I played like the Japanese demo for that.
It's so like jank and so I can't defend this choice really. But when I was thinking of games I played this year, that one popped into my head, and I'm just like, why am I even thinking about this still? And even to this day, like I rebought the game, and I'm just like, I kind of want to play that again. Don't know why. It's not that good. The idea is there's like an earthquake, and you have to get out of town, and there's like this little drama going on with a couple different characters you meet along the way. It's dumb. But hey, I don't know. I like it. That's really all I got to say about that. And as far as Sakura Wars goes, it's like the most J-poppy, not really J-pop. It's definitely a kind of a harem anime.
Yeah.
In video game form, but I haven't beaten it. So
I actually I've got it on sale. I have it. It is unopened. I haven't played through it, but I was like, you know what? Let me just I want to breeze through the story so I can actually know what the story is, because I've watched most of the Persona animes or whatever, even though I've only played like a couple of them. So I watched the story for Sakura Wars and everything, and I was just kind of like, this is like a typical harem anime. There's like literally nothing.
Now, part of the game plays that way, and the other part plays like a muso. Like the action parts play like a muso. So, in a mech, and it's, I don't know, it's fine. It's one of those weird ones that I fell off when some transitions were happening with my job. So like I was actually I think I'm like 5 chapters in or something like that. I'm actually pretty far into it. I just need to get back on it. The problem is the save feature is like it's still on my Pro, and I gotta turn on the Pro and upload it to the cloud.
Yeah, that
and I'm just like, that's yeah. I mean, it's not even that hard. I just need to do it. So,
gotcha.
But that's it for me. Disaster Report 4 is what we're gonna go with, just because at least I finished that one. I can't put Sakura Wars there yet. So, all right, halfway down the list. Well, starting now, we would be halfway down the list with yours. So. Go for it.
I think I skipped. Did I say Code Vein earlier?
You did not.
I feel like I skipped it over.
So you skipped that one.
Yeah. So Code Vein. That I think I only played like a demo before, so I don't really count that. I played the demo back around the time when it first came out. It was like a beta or something.
Probably
like
the same time I played the demo.
Yeah. So I thought it was really interesting. I mean, there's a lot of Soulsborne type, games nowadays or whatever. Everybody's copying that formula, and this is basically, Japanese anime Soulsborne, pretty much. But it does enough like interesting, unique stuff that I actually liked it a lot, and so I finally bought it. And what pissed me off is that I bought the deluxe edition and everything for a pretty good price, and they put it on Game Pass like literally the next week. I was about
to mention it's on Game Pass now.
Oh my god. That shit pissed me off, but whatever. I'd like the game.
Yeah,
so.
I haven't been burned like that really with any Game Pass stuff lately.
I've been burned a lot on that recently. Code Vein is a big one. There's another one where I had bought it and then
I'm trying to think.
Control, and see.
Oh yeah, you did get burned with Control.
See,
didn't you?
for
I need to look at Game Pass real quick and see if I got
Code Vein wasn't as bad because I actually started playing it when I bought it on sale. Control, I bought it and I never started playing it, and now it's on Game Pass.
And it's not even you don't even have the definitive version.
No, not at all.
And I gotta wonder, actually. Oh man, I don't want to put in my password. I actually gotta wonder. What am I saying?
I think I broke down and actually got it when it was on like the definitive edition or whatever the hell when it was on sale, which I'm still kind of mad about, but whatever. And I still haven't played
I want to get the excuse me. Oh jeez, it's late. I want to. It's not even that late. We're just old. It's not even 10 o'clock.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, Code Vein is especially since you could bring the characters with you. And it looks a lot like what was that? God Eater. Yes, it looks a lot like God Eater, and I think it's made by the same people.
Okay. Yeah.
So the graphical style is like God Eater, but it's the gameplay is like Soulsborne or whatever. You can change, and I think the thing that I like about it the most, you can essentially change your class at any time. So there's these like class archetypes that you can pick. I think they're called like blood codes or whatever. That has like certain weapon speeds and weapon types that you can use or whatever. Different like little spells and active skills you can use and passive skills you can use. And then once you use it for long enough, you unlock it so you can use it in other blood codes or other classes. So you're switching between classes all the time, which to me is great. I hate being locked down into a choice for the whole damn game, which is the reason why I don't like playing MMOs, because you got to start the whole fucking game over to be able to play another character. I hate that. But yeah, you can switch it on the fly. So it's more like something like God Eater or Monster Hunter than it is like a traditional Dark Souls or whatever game. Because of those, you're putting in points to something, and that's it. So
yeah, you're stuck there.
So that's I never really liked that. I like being able to switch it up and play however I want. So in that game, you could do that. So if anybody hasn't tried Code Vein yet, definitely give it a try.
Yeah, especially if you're on Game Pass, because like I say, it's free. I'm trying to look and see if there's anything I really got burned. I've been looking at the list of Game Pass. Oh, I tell you what it was. I got burned on Kingdom Hearts 1.5 and 2.5.
Yeah.
So I bought those. Mind you, I bought them on sale, but like I bought them and then the next week they popped up on Game Pass.
I actually had that. I did buy those too, but I didn't buy it on Xbox. I bought it on PS4. PS4 has like this.
Well, I have them on PS4.
Yeah,
already.
It has this like ultimate collection or whatever, and it was like $20 or some shit. And I was like,
my
never
thought
liked playing
process
Kingdom
is,
Hearts, but fuck it, it's $20, so I just got it.
Well, my wife had bought those. My thought process is, I wanna. Sorry, I knocked the table. If that popped up on the audio, I want to support those sort of games on Xbox.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
Like, if they're not that expensive, like that's why I bought Dragon Quest. I could be playing Dragon Quest on Game Pass, but I bought Dragon Quest just because I want to support that. It's a vote with your wallet situation for me.
Yeah,
so.
I definitely agree with that because I bought Final Fantasy 12 on Xbox, even though I already had it on PS4. That Sega RPG that was released on Xbox, and I can't remember the name of it now. Shining Force.
Okay. Shining?
Not Shining Force. Shining something.
On regular Xbox?
No, Xbox One. It's Shining something.
Shining Resonance
Refrain. Yes, it is a port of
I have
a
that
PS3
on Switch.
RPG, essentially.
Yep, I remember that. Now, I mean, to be fair, too, also, Game Pass has not made me, let's like put a gun to my head, they forced me to buy some games that like Stranger Brigade, I bought that. I mean, because I was like, I want this game. Vermintide, I bought that.
Game Pass.
Well, they took it off Game Pass, but I think Vermintide's still up there, and I bought a copy anyway because I was like, I like this game a lot. I just want to have it. I think that's kind of what they're doing. I know I'll probably end up buying Yakuza's if they ever come out physical but they probably won't.
Oh, see, that's my number one pick. I'm actually kind of ashamed about that because I've been playing it on Game Pass and I didn't buy it. So we'll get there. We'll get there.
All right, so my next one, you're probably gonna roll your eyes at this, probably more so than Disaster Report, but I'm not really sure. I don't even know if you played this. I know you're not the biggest fan of this particular anime. I played this early in the year, and it was Dragon Ball Z Kakarot.
Oh man, okay, yeah.
And the reason why I enjoyed this so much is it's not a traditional sort of fighting game, but it's an action RPG.
Yeah.
There are battles, random battles you get into. The fighting mechanics are good, and they go through the entire Dragon Ball Z saga.
Yeah. I mean, I've heard a lot of good stuff about it.
It's well done. Like, it's good. It's free roaming. All the characters are there. I mean, mind you, they're running around and they repeat some of their lines. I mean, that's going to happen. You know, whatever.
Right.
It's a thing. So, and I don't know. Even the DLC is pretty fun. Like, I think I got every achievement in that game. I did. I played on Xbox, but still, I got a platinum.
Got a platinum Xbox.
I got a platinum Xbox trophy. But yeah, I haven't finished the DLC yet. But yeah, I did everything actually in that main game, and I gotta say I enjoyed it a lot.
Spoilers: Goku wins.
There you go. It's a very abridged way to play, or if you wanted to experience Dragon Ball Z all over again and didn't want to watch like however many episodes it is.
I don't have any issues with that game. I heard it was really well done. I'm probably never gonna play it just because, you know, I've watched all those episodes already, and it's just like.
I mean, I've seen them too. It's just been a while for me, and it was almost. I mean, I knew it was going to happen, but it was a bit fresh. I do hate the fact, and I understand why. I'm just throwing that out there. I'm a fan of the Garlic Jr. saga, primarily. Primarily, everyone hates Garlic Jr. saga. I love it though because Goku's not in it.
Yeah, not really.
Like it's friggin' Krillin, Piccolo, and Gohan. Like when do they get to shine just by themselves?
Yeah. See, that's. You know? I would like to see stuff like that. You know, and if they had more what if scenarios, I think that I'd be more on board. But the basic, you know, the RPG that does the entire saga, they've done that before a number of times. And like Super Nintendo.
Well, they always break it up though into multiple games. They don't do the entire game the entire saga.
There's a couple Famicom and Super Famicom games that actually do that. That goes from. There's even some that go from Dragon Ball into Dragon Ball Z and stuff like that. I mean, they're like 2D RPGs on like the Super Famicom and stuff like that.
Yeah. I mean, I have Attack of the Saiyans on DS. I think that was the closest we got over here, but they never continued with that. I actually like that one too. It's a turn-based RPG.
I think it would be great if they actually translate or port some of those like older Famicom and Super Famicom RPGs they have for Dragon Ball Z, because some of them are really good, and you know we never got them. But I mean, yeah, the entire Dragon Ball Z saga was over back in the 90s, and we just keep doing it over and over. It's hilarious to me. But like,
yeah, and I have all of Super. Like I have it on Blu-ray and I have it available to watch on streaming. I have to be in an anime mood. Like earlier in the year, I was super into Fairy Tail, and I got like really far into it. Not really far. I got pretty far into it, and I was just like, I'm done. And it wasn't a fault of the show. It was just like I just get tired of watching anime. I'm just that type of person. I'll jump back in, and I'll jump back in hard for like another month or so, and then that'll be it. So, anyway, what's your? This is a home stretch now. We've each done 5, so we got 5 more to go.
So now these are all stuff that's come out this year.
Yes.
So I'm gonna go with Rogue Company. I'm gonna throw that on there. So this one, it's a free-to-play shooter.
That's right.
And it's third person. And I think I just saw them advertise it one time, you know, a while back, whatever. I heard about it, and I was like, oh, okay, well, that sounds pretty neat. You know, I'll try it out on my PS4. So the thing is, I don't like playing those. I don't like playing shooters on PS4 at all. Like, I just don't like the controller for it. The sticks are just like too short and stubby. They don't have as much travel, and the weird buttons.
I don't like shooters where I like my sticks to be offset. I know that's weird, but I mean that's
it's the same way I only get shooters on Xbox, and I mean PS4. The only exclusive shooters they really have is Uncharted and Killzone, which nothing's happened with Killzone lately.
No, yeah, nobody cares about Killzone. They didn't care about Killzone when it was.
So I ended up downloading. I ended up getting it on PS4 though because my Xbox was fucking up. So I was playing it on PS4 mostly this year. That's a really good game. And now that I have the Series X, I'm playing it on that, and there's 120 frames mode on there, and I think it's a really solid game. It's really high praise. It's like a really, really solid game. It's actually pretty good. I don't think that's...
I don't say that's super high praise. It's not something I would put on a box. It's
really,
solid.
really, really solid.
Yeah.
But
you're not going to hate it.
It's pretty unique. I mean, if you like the whole... it's like a CSGO light. It's not as hardcore as Counter-Strike or anything like that. Absolutely not. But it has the same type of game types. The same... you start around... you buy up the shit you want to do, you want to use, the weapons or whatever. You go into the round, planting a bomb or whatever, and then you start at the next round. Now you have more money, and then you start the whole process over again. So it's that basic, flow or whatever. And I mean, I think it's really great, and it's in third person, everything, which is, it's fairly unique.
Yeah. Funnily enough, I was looking at this right before I was waiting on you to. Get on the thing because I was on the Epic Game Store at a $10 credit, and that was like one of their top games, which I think is free to download.
Download, yeah.
Yeah. It was on that, and of course Fortnite, but there was a couple paid games, but that was in the list of. I did buy Ghost Runner actually on Epic Game Store because I had a $10 credit.
I thought about getting Ghost Runner.
Well, it was $17.99.
Yeah.
And it was like I had a $10 credit, so I was like, I can get this for $8. I might as well just go ahead and jump on PC. I was gonna get on Xbox, but I was like, $8.
Yeah.
I don't even play games that much on PC, but hey, why not, right?
But yeah, I mean, if you like shooters, I'd try it out. I probably wouldn't get the $10 or $20 or $30 packs.
I just don't like multiplayer shooters. That's my main thing. So if there was a single player mode, I'd be all over it.
Which brings me to one of the other games, but go ahead.
Yeah, well, that's actually going to bring me to my next game, which there's 4 more left. I miscounted last time, so we each have 4 left, I believe, at this point. So, my number 4 pick is a single-player shooter, and I've talked about it a ton of times on the show. And I know you just started playing it, and that's Doom Eternal, which I've actually played all the way through on Xbox. Have not finished the DLC, but I've actually been playing it on Switch recently, which is a totally different experience.
Absolutely.
Not totally different. It's actually pretty impressive nonetheless, but yeah, Doom Eternal, you're new to it, so actually give me your impressions, I guess, because you said you played that recently.
So I haven't beat it, I haven't gone all the way through, but I mean, I'm already familiar with it because I played the shit out of the 2016.
Yes.
I mean, I like it a lot.
I like it better than 2016.
I like it a lot. I don't know if I would say more than 2016, but it's definitely... it's not trying to hold your hand or like walk you through shit or whatever. It's just like it starts you immediately. It doesn't even got rid of the damn pistol. He's like, fuck it, nobody used the pistol.
Yeah, nobody uses the pistol.
Let's just go in with the shotgun, which is funny because those that style of shooter always gives you some weak ass fucking pistol at the beginning of the game, and they never do anything. And then after you get a shotgun or something else, you never use that pistol again. And then every one of those games do that. Quake, Doom, fucking Unreal, like all those style shooters, they give you a pistol and then you never use it again once you get a shotgun or you get something else. So they're like...
Well, I mean, the idea is for you to always have something that has ammo.
I mean...
But in this case,
you get ammo from...
Your chainsaw, has a timer on it. And you can get ammo from enemies by chainsawing them.
And I think they tightened that up now to the point where... Because before, in 2016, I never really had to use the chainsaw to get ammo because there's enough ammo pickups like around. And here, you only have like 10 rounds in your damn shotgun. You will run out.
Yes.
So you have to chainsaw.
That's why I like the game more. you have to. It's more of a thinking shooter than the first one. The first one's just blow everything up. This you have to actively switch weapons.
Do everything. You have to use everything.
I don't know how far you're in, but like certain enemies are weak to certain weapon mods. Even. Like I
think the spider
rocket launchers,
like
the
little spider demon things. There's like a little launcher that they pop up out of their head, and you have to.
And you can pop those off. It only gets more aggressive as you go along. Like, I don't know. Have you got to a part where you have the flamethrower yet?
I have the. I just
okay.
Got
So
the
like,
ice,
that's how you get armor shards.
Launcher. I think I just got that.
Okay, so you get armor shards, and the only thing I would say I don't like. Well, I didn't like it first at all. Was the Marauders? Have you got a Marauder yet?
I think.
It's the guy with the shields. Guys. Okay.
Everybody complains about that. I haven't gotten
They're
to them yet.
difficult. And in the expansion you have to fight two at once, and it's like, God. It's just like, this is ridiculous. Some of the scenarios they put you in the later game are just obnoxiously like, what the hell are you doing to me? This is torture.
I do like how quick the levels move, and like the fact that you go back to your ship or whatever,
and they're very vertical.
I do like that a lot.
They're vertical. The platforming is good though. I guess my only complaint about the entire game, and you haven't got this, the very last boss is a bit like cookie cutter, and I'm just like, whatever. I could have done without that. But the rest of the game, I strongly say, or at least to me, I like it more than 2016, easily. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it took me a while to get there. I didn't like it as much at first, but I came around. So, but yeah, Doom Eternal is my number 4 pick, and it's good shit as far as shooters goes. On no matter what you play it on, even the Switch version is really good. But obviously, play it on PlayStation or Xbox or PC if you have the chance. It's on Game Pass, so even for PC.
I would say I also have Doom Eternal as like my 4th one, which we've already gone over that, so I'm gonna go.
Okay, well, hey, we're just moving along. Yeah. Do you want to skip to your? Want to just change directions since we talk so much? You go ahead and do your number 3 then, I guess.
So my number 3 would be Star Renegades. Actually, you know what?
You spoilers. Star Renegades is in there somewhere.
Actually, no. I'm gonna switch that up. Last minute change. So I'm gonna change that to Resident Evil 3.
So you're taking off Star Renegades?
No, not taking it off. I'm pushing that up to 2, and I'm doing Resident Evil 3 to 3. So I like this game a lot, and then a lot of people complain about this when it came out. A lot of people.
I liked it a lot too. I actually liked it slightly more than 2, just because it was so like I got through it
exactly.
Quickly and easily.
And I've played the original Resident Evil 2, and I've played the original Resident Evil 3 back in the day. Resident Evil 2 I actually got through the whole game on N64. I liked it. It was pretty good. That was the only Resident Evil.
I have it for GameCube.
That was the only classic Resident Evil, and it's because on N64, which a lot of nobody ever mentions this, on N64, you don't have to. They updated the tank controls, so you can use direct tank controls if you use the D-pad. But if you use the joystick, you move in the direction that you're pointing.
Yeah, you don't have tank controls.
So nobody ever talks about that. That was awesome. That was the only way I could beat that game. So I beat Resident Evil 2.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of tank controls either. They take a while to adjust to. I can do it.
Yeah, I mean if you sit there and play it, but yeah. So Resident Evil 3. I played it on PlayStation, and I did not like it at all. And the main reason why I hated it at the time was that it was designed so that you had to use that dodge mechanic. But the dodge mechanic was so hard to use, and it was so unreliable that when you fought against... I don't know how people could beat Nemesis without dodging. If you don't know how to dodge, he is so much fucking harder in the original Resident Evil 3. Because you can't run faster than him. He's way faster than you. And he'll shoot rockets and stuff, and then he'll hit you with his fucking tentacle shit, and he's just running through and smacking the shit out of you and everything, and he'll stun lock you, and if you can't dodge, you just literally can't do shit. But so I hated it. I fought Nemesis a couple times and I just couldn't get through it. when I heard that Resident Evil 3 was coming out, I was like, I wonder if they fixed that dodge mechanic so you can actually play it now. And they did. I mean, it's not super easy to do, but they fixed it. It actually works now, and you can. There's ways to play the game without using the dodge mechanic. It doesn't rely on it so much. So I was all for it. And Resident Evil 2, Resident Evil 2, I would say the combat, the actual combat in Resident Evil 2 is probably better just because there's not as much zombies on screen, so you could actually, detach their limbs and everything, and it looks really good. Resident Evil 3 doesn't have that. You can hit them in certain spots, but it's not as accurate and not as as in depth because you can have 100 zombies on screen now. But I was fine with that. And a lot of people say oh well, in Resident Evil 2, you can wander around the place, you can explore. In Resident Evil 3, it was completely linear. Look, there's nothing wrong with a focused game like that, and then there's still
I'm fine with that.
There's a linear corridor, and then you get to an area, and then you do the area, and then you go to the corridor to the next area. Resident Evil 4 was like that. Resident Evil 5 was like that. I am perfectly fine with that. Perfectly fine.
Yeah, I was glad that I was able to rent the game and be done with it in a week.
Exactly.
I was fine with. I think it took me 6 hours or something. I was completely.
I
cool
played
with
through it, thought it was amazing, and I had I actually wanted to go through it again, and I started playing through it again.
Mm-hmm. I've been considering doing 2 and 3 on Series X just to see if there's any mild improvements.
Yeah,
that might
probably just in performance and stuff. But I mean, it's a amazing looking game, and people complain oh, it's really short, it's really linear, and I'm like, well, I could actually beat it. The Resident Evil 2, I didn't beat that shit. I still have it on the Xbox.
I beat it on with Leon's campaign, but I didn't beat it with Claire.
I'm stuck in this place now, so I'm still in the damn. I was close to the end of the RPD section. I'm stuck in a save room, and Mr. X is stomping up and down the hallways, and I've been running around to avoid him. So I've collected all the liquors and everything. So all those fuckers are just waiting outside. So if I poke my head through the door, there's 2 liquors, all these zombies, and Mr. X, and I'm I don't have enough ammo to deal with this shit, so I'm stuck. And I was you know what? Fuck it. I can't do this anymore.
You know what? We got to move on, but when you said you collect all the liquor, I just imagine you collecting whiskey and liquor.
So yeah, I just...
yeah. Then I'm oh yeah, the liquor, the zombie. Damn. We're not doing too bad at an hour, but I do want to keep this moving. Yeah. So, and I want to have enough time for our final things. But my next 3 are probably going to be a little bit predictable because we've talked about them a couple times at this point. But and they were kind of hard to put in this order. But hey, whatever. Number 3 for me is going to be Ghost of Tsushima, which was crazy for me to think that this was number 3 for me because I enjoyed it a lot. Very atmospheric and just a damn fine example of what I would kind of want in a future maybe Assassin's Creed feudal Japan game. The combat's good. I hate that there's no lock on. I hate a few little things about it. I think it takes like a lot of first party Sony published stuff. And Horizon and Last of Us, I think the game takes itself a bit too seriously. There's practically no humor in the entire game. There is some, but it's minor. Multiplayer is really good.
That is surprising. Visuals, that's everything.
Yeah, I need to get back on it because me and a friend of the show Kia played halfway through the multiplayer missions, and we've yet to jump back on. But so he's supposed to come over and play something with me. What was it? Oh, the Gears Hive Buster. We were going to do that together.
Right. I played through the whole
But
thing.
yeah, Ghost of Tsushima is fantastic, and I would absolutely, if you have a PS5 or a PS4, get on that. It is great. My top 3 I have very minor complaints about. So I did try to go back and start Ghost of Tsushima again once I got the PS5, and that was another thing. I'm just I'm just not feeling this, as much now because I platinumed the game.
Yeah,
it's a short game. It's a short game for what seems to be a super ambitious game. It's not really that long.
Which is perfect for me. So once I get a hold of the PS5, I will absolutely try it out.
And it's open world, but it's really not. It's really It doesn't. It's not as open world as it looks.
So because I definitely hate open world for the sake of open world when it's just like this big empty location where you.
Well, I mean those spots that you have to travel through are they're set dressing. They're meant to look beautiful, and they do. Yeah. I mean they look insanely beautiful. And that's kind of what.
So it's more like a Shadow of the Colossus type open world than like a
kind of where you're just okay. I'm gonna ride through this beautiful field to get to my next objective.
I'm fine with that. It's something like
and you could fast travel all over
like
the damn place
GTA or something like that. That annoys me when it's just like a lot of stuff and it's mostly just shit to collect, and it's just like I don't want to waste all this time.
And I'm not gonna say there's not any of that. There is some of that, but it is not a thing you have to do. And I will say, Ghost of Tsushima, all the side missions are worth doing. They're all good. None of them feel like bullshit.
That's interesting.
So
I kind of feel like Horizon was like that too. They streamlined that a lot, which normally I don't like games like that.
I will say though, jumping back in that, how I complain about the Sony published titles, how they take themselves too seriously. They typically God of War was kind of the same way. The side missions feel not padding. Anyway, continue on. This is your number 2, right?
This would be my number 2.
Yeah, number 2.
I don't have any of those top level PlayStation exclusives from this year, which they released a good amount of them. I don't have any of those.
What did they release? Miles Morales and
Final Fantasy 7,
Dark Souls. You know what? Final Fantasy 7 was enjoyable, but
Final Fantasy 7.
It's not gonna
Miles Morales, Dark Souls, Ghost of Tsushima.
Miles Morales was over in 6 hours.
Last of Us 2. All those were released this year.
Last of Us 2, I did not really enjoy that much.
I also bought that and have not played it yet. I'm gonna wait till I can play it on PS5.
Good idea. I mean, it runs fine on PS4 Pro, but I would.
I gotta have it at 60.
Yeah,
I have to.
All right, man.
But like
that number 2 you said earlier, but I already forgot what it was.
Star Renegades. So, not any of those 4 that I just listed, or 5 that I just listed.
Yeah.
But I like that game a lot. I haven't beaten it, but it's
really
it's designed to be, I guess, like a game that you just keep playing or whatever.
What is this one again? Is this? It's
a 2D RPG. It's like a.
Is this the one that was on Game Pass that I kept forgetting the name of that I said looked like Octopath?
Yes,
sort of.
Yeah. That same kind of. It's a turn-based roguelite type RPG or whatever.
Okay.
So it randomizes the dungeon that you go to or whatever, which is like a planet that's about to get invaded, and you have a certain amount of days to be able to, get to a certain part or whatever. But a lot of stuff, all the placements and everything are randomized. The battle system to me is amazing. I mean, I really, really get, really annoyed or bored with games where, because a lot of traditional RPGs do this. Actually, Dragon Quest does this too, where a lot of times for the rank and file people that you fight, you just mash attack. There's no reason to use anything else. If you do anything else, you're wasting your time. If you use magic, you're wasting your time because there's no incentive to use anything. Like Final Fantasy does this too, which annoys the shit out of me. You can't use any kind of any of the status effect magic. You can use it on regular enemies, but not on bosses. But there's no reason to use it on regular enemies where you could just attack them again, and then why would you poison them when you could just attack them again? So it's just like this. It's to me, it's super flawed, and I've always hated that. And there's no reason to use magic when you can't replenish your magic points unless you use an item that is like perishable or whatever to replenish it.
I will say, I'm trying to go derail back to Dragon Quest for a minute. Eric will spam the hell out of this move called Toomerang when you get it. So he will waste all his magic immediately if you have him on Fight Wisely. Yeah. But whatever.
I don't use MP because his normal attack, like hits all enemies anyway. So it's kind of like, what do I need to use?
I mean, Two Ring's pretty powerful, but I mean, I would only use it on bosses. But yeah, I mean, if you're like working your way up to a boss, don't let him do that because he will
save it up.
Straight waste all his
MP. Hit the boss
MP.
with all the stuff and everything, but then so I mean, games that figure out a way to make it so that every encounter you basically have to figure out how to beat this guy or whatever. That's what this game does, and I like that a lot because you have 3 different like levels of like health. They have shields, health, and like armor or whatever. Shields get replenished after every encounter or whatever combat encounter. Health and armor does not. Once your shields are gone, then armor can mitigate damage, or you could hit armor directly. But you need to use some sort of item to be able to get your health back or get armor back or whatever.
Yeah.
So you have to figure.
I mean, that makes sense.
There's all these different.
It's Halo. It's Halo
there's all
rules.
these different systems you have to use, and you have to you can interrupt people's turns and stun them, or you can break them to push them into the next turn, so you can do as much damage as you can now. And
you talked about this on a previous episode, and I said it reminded me of how Grandia 2 does its battle system.
I love that because there's nothing that I hate more than just like mashing attack over and over and over. I hate it.
Yeah. I mean, I do love games like Dragon Quest that, like, for the grindy bits, you can just put it on like Fight Wisely, just speed it up, go. I mean, it is kind of tedious, but
which is funny because people hated Final Fantasy 12 because they're like, oh, it played by itself. I'm like, no, man, it got rid of all those grindy bits. You don't have to keep mashing attack.
Yeah. Exactly.
But whatever. That's a whole nother combo.
Okay. Let's see. What are we? 1 hour? That's not too bad. Let's try to keep it under an hour and a half. Under an hour and 20 if we can. But my runner-up, and it's kind of a cheat too, again, because I have not finished this game. But I'm so engrossed in it right now. In between Dragon Quest and the other game I've been playing, which I just finished today, was Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity. I'll talk about that next week.
That's interesting. Okay.
I finished that one, but and it's I've been playing this on Xbox One X, even though the Series X version is better, but it's Yakuza Like a Dragon, which is an RPG, of course. We're just on this RPG kick right now. I wanted to get that a lot.
It was on sale for I think $45, and I was tempted, but I'm gonna wait till it comes.
I've seen it for $35.
It comes down a little bit.
I've seen it for $35 on sale. I don't know if it's on sale still for $35,
like
but
for the physical.
Damn good game. Yeah, for the physical copy. You're like, you're that digital. No, but damn fine game though. The story is really getting me. I'm really getting invested in what's going on. I'm loving all these actors. I mean, I'm playing in English, and man, all these people are great. Like the game that you can let it play itself to a degree. There are quick time events, kind of like a Mario Party sort of thing, where your special attacks you have to like jam on a button or like time a button prompt or something like that. So you can't just like walk away. But at the same time, you don't have to sit there and trudge through menus to try to figure out what the ideal thing to do is. Because there is a lot of crap and there's so many classes. I started to get kind of lost on what's happening sometimes. So I just 90% of the time I just do auto battle and it takes care of itself. But yeah, crazy good drama on top of crazy good Japanese humor.
I'm absolutely looking forward to playing it. It's a good jumping on point for someone who hasn't played the last 7 of them or 6 of them or whatever.
And I don't know how many chapters there are, but I'm like 20 hours in and I don't see it ending anytime soon. So yeah, it's good shit though. Yakuza Like a Dragon. If you've never played a Yakuza game, well, start with Judgment, but Like a Dragon's also.
Start with Judgment.
Judgment is, I think, a better jumping on point if you've never played one, but because Yakuza is an RPG and Judgment is not.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that's my number 2, which should leave my number 1 very predictable. But anyway, continue on. This is your game of the year.
My number 1
Dwight's game of the year.
Streets of Rage 4.
Yeah. Well, I kind of expected this because you said you were going to talk
about it. I'm a huge Sega fan, huge Sega nerd. So this was kind of a long time coming for me. I played the shit out of the first three, with my brother and everything on emulators and stuff on the original Sega Genesis. So I was hearing that Streets of Rage 4 was finally coming out, I was blown away. I don't know if you've ever followed this fucking saga or whatever, but all the different times that they tried to develop a Streets of Rage 4 and failed. They got Fighting Force out of that. Core Designs did that. That game is shit on a stick.
Who was the company that made this one? Was it Lizard Cube?
Lizard Cube.
Is that the name?
It was
of it?
Guard Crush and Lizard Cube that made Dragon's Trap. That's also a really good game.
I agree.
Wonderboy and Dragon's Trap. So it's amazing.
I just had a funny thought. Well, not really. Well, it was a thought. I didn't have any thoughts. No. At this time, I played through this co-op with two friends. I know I'm kind of jumping into your thing, but I'm sure you probably played it co-op and probably by yourself. You got your brother or whatever, but I was playing as Axel. I don't remember all the characters' names.
Oh my god!
With my friend.
Yeah, go ahead.
What? Whatever. Anyway, but I was playing as Axel. The girl's name I forget. The girl in the dress,
Blaze,
the tight red dress. Yeah, no,
the older one.
Yeah. Yeah. The cyborg big black guy. What's his name?
That's a new one. So actually, what was his name?
I don't know.
But yes, I know what you're talking about. Cyborg dude. Yes.
Okay, so it was us three, and me and Key at the same time were also playing Final Fantasy VII Remake. So I was just like, I can't not make the comparison that one of us is playing a white blonde guy. There's a big black guy and a beat 'em up chick here. I'm just like, I feel like this is like Cloud, Tifa, and Barret.
Yeah.
I feel like we're playing a beat 'em up version of Final Fantasy VII and setting in a cyberpunk world. So.
But yeah, it's you'd have to play to really get into the different. If you play on normal, which I played on normal when I first got it with my brother or whatever.
I think we played on
and we
normal.
Just blew through the game. But if you really want to get deep into all the different fighting game systems and everything, you'd have to play on hard or more or better. That's when you start worrying about, there's certain characters that do certain enemies that do certain things, and you have to figure out ways to get around them. And then you start figuring out things like, moving up and down to get out of range of stuff instead of just trying to jump away. Because then you get out of their hitbox and a lot of real technical shit, which a lot of games like this don't do that. They don't really have any kind of technical, aspects to it. But yeah, really well done game. The music is amazing. Kashir only did
music is
Kashir
really
only
good.
did maybe 2 tracks for it or whatever. Some of the rest of the tracks are really, really good though.
Yeah, this is the sort of game where you could just listen to the soundtrack alone.
Yes, I already did. I have the first 3 Streets of Rage games on LP, and I'll probably get this one at some point. I don't know. They probably already released it. I don't know. I'd have to look it up.
I'm pretty sure they did. I want to say I saw it there's a shop. Well, I say near me. It's not that near me. It's closer to me than you.
Yeah.
But that sells gaming LPs, and I'm pretty sure I saw it there.
I usually get mine from Data Disc or Mondo.
Well, I mean, I order mine if I'm gonna buy them. Yeah. So I mean, the only ones I've ever bought has been the Shenmue ones, and I got Richard that Metal Gear one. Yeah, I got the Shenmue one from Limited Run coming too. So.
But this is absolutely my game of the year. I'm ashamed though because I was planning on getting a physical version and everything.
Yeah, you said you haven't bought it yet. I have.
Yeah.
I bought the game.
I was gonna get a physical version.
I haven't played it.
I told you about that, and I was like, man, I'm ready. And then when I heard it was coming on Game Pass, I was like, I'll play it on Game Pass.
I mean, mind you, I played it on Game Pass first, but
God.
As soon as it went down to, I think I bought it for $20. Because I think it's not even a full price game. It's like, what, $30-$40 for the physical copy? It's not even.
Yeah, it's like 20 or 30
it's
or something
regular price. It was not 60.
Yeah, not at all.
And it was 25, I think, maybe it was 20.
So
I bought it.
I will at some point to support everything, but I played on Game Pass, so I'm kind of ashamed.
Yeah.
But yeah, go ahead.
No, I played on Game Pass to start off with, so but I mean I already knew I was gonna buy it. Yeah, it's good shit. We had a good time with that. We were gonna play through Battletoads, but I couldn't line up the same 3 people again.
Yeah, I started playing Battletoads. I'm good on that. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, I tried it for a bit too, and I'm just like, yeah, I don't know if I really feel like doing this. So it was fine.
Yeah,
that's what I was for. It's fine.
Yeah,
so
yeah, the game itself wasn't bad, but man, they tried really, really hard to get you to laugh. But yeah,
too hard, way too hard.
Yeah.
All right, so yeah, I guess that leaves just one more, right? And we're right at that point. So I'm not going to talk about this too much because I've mentioned it multiple times. And this is not a game that like I'm engrossed in so much. Like I'm not enthralled by this game, like by any means. I don't get on this. I'm not excited. Well, it's not that I'm looking forward to playing it.
This is the game of the year.
Yeah, but it's a game that like is constantly something to do and constantly keeps me coming back, and I'm having fun with what I'm doing.
Oh, I think
I'm
I
not
know
like
what it is. Go ahead.
all about it or anything, but like I play it every day, and that's Animal Crossing New Horizons.
I knew that was coming.
Yeah, and most people probably knew that was coming. And when we talked about our Game Awards thing, I said, "Oh, I want Ghost of Tsushima to win," because I knew there was no way Animal Crossing was going to win Game of the Year at the Game Awards. It's just not going to happen. It's not going to win it anywhere. But this is my list. This is my personal list.
Absolutely.
And I've played Animal Crossing just about every day this year. I mean, I've skipped like 1 or 2 days, but there's stuff to do in this game all the time. Even during the slow parts, and just when you're thinking you're like, okay, I got everything, I'm done. They add some new shit in there, like it's minor stuff, but it's enough. Like I hate the fact that I couldn't stay up last night for the New Year's thing. I was too tired. I just zonked out. I was just like, F it, because they had a little New Year's party, and I think you got something for it. I was like, well, cool. I guess I'll get it next year if I'm still playing, which is unlikely. I usually play Animal Crossing games for about a year.
I guess those are called like
but
lifestyle
I have a
games,
feeling.
Or I guess it would be a good description for it. But
yeah. I mean, there's just constantly new stuff to do, and just
that's I get that completely, because if we're going by if we're going by like amount of time spent on a game or anything like that, it would absolutely be Caravan Stories. But I left it out of the list because obviously it didn't come out this year, and I didn't start playing it this year either.
Well, Animal Crossing came out this year, and it came out at like the perfect time, right. Like when we were all stuck at home, and like my island would probably not be as developed as it is, and it's not even that developed. Like I'm not one of those people that has a ridiculous, like, terraformed, like, looks like Manhattan sort of island. Like, mine, I literally leave it kind of wilderness looking. There are animals that live there. Animals live in the woods, So, like,
gotta be kind to the environment.
I mean, the original version of the game was called Animal Forest for a reason, So, it I don't make roads and stuff like that. There's no point in doing that. But no, I mean, I have a nice little village, and I'm very pleased. I have not actually changed my island much since the way it came. I mean, I moved a few little things, but my thing is, like, it's supposed to be this nature thing. Like, what's the point of boxing it all together, so.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I play that every day. That's actually the first thing. I have a routine in the morning. I let the puppy out. I feed her. We play Animal Crossing. I say we because she always sits in my lap when I do it. And that's every day.
I do the same thing when I get home from work. I get off work at like 3:30. I work like an hour away. I get home like around 4:30, 5 o'clock or so. Jump on to Caravan Stories, pull up whatever like daily shit they have going on, collect some shit, maybe like run through the stories. There's so many interconnecting stories. It's just I'm always learning new shit, and like I'm still, after 2 years of playing, 1.5 years of playing this thing, pretty much every day. There's still new characters I'm meeting. There's still new stories that I'm going through. And it's just, to me, it's a little different from like the average gacha game, because a lot of times they have other characters and there's not really any stories. You're just like getting these so you can add numbers for whatever that you're fighting. This one, they all have their own individual stories. They interact with each other in different ways, and everything's interconnected. It's just, I'm like super into that shit. So I play that shit like every single day.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I talked to my friend Edwin, which actually has to be on this episode, but he didn't have a mic, so it was like, whatever. We'll get you on another time. But yeah, I mean, he's like my Animal Crossing friend. He's been my friend for a couple of years too. I met him at Best Buy when I worked there.
It's a trend, but yeah.
Yeah, I meet people but yeah, it's just like, you talk to people at, especially if you work for someone that sells video games. Everyone always asks for the same shit.
Yeah.
Madden, Call of Duty. Got that duty? But no, this guy, he was like asking about Fire Emblem.
Yeah.
And it's like, just on that alone, I was just like, we struck up a conversation. I've been friends with him for years, but yeah, me and him play Animal Crossing, and he's one of those guys where it's just like, you look at his Switch
games played or whatever.
I'm not going to get too much games played. I'm like, where the freak do you find the time for all this? Like, he's played all these games. Dude, his Monster Hunter Generations file is like 1,000+ hours.
Yep, that used to be me.
I'm just like, where do you find the time for this?
That used to be me. I switched from Monster Hunter actually to Caravan Stories, because I used to up until Iceborne came out, I had a shit ton of hours in Monster Hunter World and stuff. Yeah. So I still haven't played Iceborne to this day. I'm gonna try it out now.
I haven't either, and I haven't.
Yeah.
So
I'm gonna put it in that Series X one of these days.
Yeah. But yeah, we'll get Edwin on at some point. But for today, this has been our episode. I'm glad we didn't decide to do a games played or a news segment, because this would have been a stupid ass long episode.
Yep.
But we've kept it under an hour and a half, so that was my goal. I'll have to try and do that next week, or 2 weeks from now, where you will talk about something I forget, and
something.
You mentioned something.
Was
some sort of game that you were going to talk about. I forget what it was. Well, I don't remember.
It's a surprise for the audience.
I'm going to bring up Hyrule Warriors, because I did play that, but you'll have to wait, dear listeners, for next episode to hear about my Hyrule Age of Calamity exploits. And I'll probably be done with Dragon Quest by then too. So, although we'll probably have to hold that till you're done with it if you.
That's gonna be a while.
That's yeah. Well, I can get you through stuff, or give you recommendations to make it a lot easier. So there's definitely a good grinding exploit later on. It's not even really an exploit. It's built into the game. You're not cheating it. It's just like, you probably wouldn't have known this.
Right.
Normally.
Yep.
But that's it. We're still on iTunes or on YouTube. You're probably listening on YouTube. I've been looking at our thing. Way more people or not way more. There's like 2 more people on YouTube than there is on iTunes.
Way more so applies.
Yeah, 2 is way more than 1. So. Yeah. But yeah, until then, listeners, I've been Michael McLeod, Dwight Robinson. All right.
All right, then.
Bye-bye.
All right, then. Bye.
Yeah.